Ex-wife cheated and is pregnant. Reached out to me saying the other guy is abusing her. Advice? I'm looking for helpful advices without judgment, so please hear me out. This is a long post, so I apologize. Me 31M and my ex-wife 29F. We're married for 7 years, together for 9 before she cheated and left me for the other guy. Our divorce got finalized in March this year. The other guy is a playboy jerk who's probably 24-ish. It began from the end of last year and in January of the current year. She tells me she wants a divorce. I found out they'd been talking for an entire year before it turned physical last year, October. Divorce was smoothish as we didn't had any kids. She got the car. I kept my house and finances. After this, I was out of her life. She was out of mine. We never contacted each other except for 1 or 2 times. That 2 was when we saw each other when public. Her family is very conservative and they basically cut her off after she cheated and divorced. She moved in with the other guy. During this time, I found out she also lost a lot of friends as the other guy tried to hit on them or insulted them. Her ex sets of friends tried to get me involved in their fights immature AF, but I included this part because these set of friends were the one to stand behind her after she had an affair, telling me she found herself and I should probably let her go. I don't harbor any resentment towards her or the other guy. I didn't get involved with anyone during this period because I was focused on my job and earning back my money, which I lost on divorce. Here's where I need help. 2 days back, I get a call from one of my ex-wife's friends who told me my ex-wife wanted my number. I changed it after divorce. She didn't say much when I asked her why, and told me she needed to talk. I thought it was important as, mind you, we never had any contacts, so suddenly her wanting to talk to me created a sense of seriousness, for which I tell her to give my number. Yesterday, my ex-wife called. She sounded very creepy for real. She didn't have the voice she used to, but it was broken. You could sense something was wrong. So I asked her what's up, and she broke down crying. Went on from telling how great things were to how are things now. So the other guy is a manipulative and alcoholic POS who cheated on her multiple times in their 7 months relationship. Put her in charge of finances, which meant her getting a job, and she's pregnant. Now, he doesn't want to be the father, so he's telling her she cheated and he's abusing her. She has no place to go, and he wants an abortion if she wants to be together. I asked her why did she call me instead of police. She told me she has nowhere else to go. None of her friends are willing to help her out, and that POS got friends in the department, so she's scared if things go around. She can't contact her family because they don't want anything to do with her, so she's alone. Listening to her made me sad. It really did. I told her I can sympathize but can't do anything else because I don't want to be the third party. I told her whatever relationship we had with each other is over and she's on her own now. Why should I stand up for her when she's no one to me? Besides, they're a couple now. They're dating and she's the one earning. She has the upper hand. I gave her advices to save funds and run away silently if she doesn't want an abortion. It was a 17 minutes call and she basically wanted to talk more, but I told her I was busy and cut her off. She did mention she was sorry to treat me and leave me. I honestly don't care about that. I told her to contact me only when it's necessary because I really don't want to hear from her no more. Yesterday night I gave a deep thinking to it and felt I should do something because no one deserves this kind of abuses. But I don't want to get in between because getting in between will blow up my own peace. I'm looking for advice as if I can do anything to help her out. I called her family and they told me they want nothing to do with her because she is already dead to them. Edit, guys, I have no intention of getting back together with her, taking her back, or even wanting to help her. I sent her links to the rescue, tries to contact her family, and they told me to cut her off. The only reason I want to help her is because she reached out to me as the last resort, and I don't want to spend my life in regret if anything serious happens to her, knowing I could have helped but chose not to, which is why I made this post. I'm going to send her money via her friend before telling her this is all I can do, and she shouldn't reach out to me unless it's urgent. Update. I helped her. I passed a few thousand worth of dollars to her via her friend and told her she can take care of herself. As I didn't want to be a part of this, we talked on phone for 38 minutes on 14th. She told me how much sorry she is and went on to say the memorable times we spent. Not once she told me she wanted to get back together. I noticed she wasn't begging or asking for help, but rather she told me it's the path she chose and she knows she can't keep or provide for the child. Neither the other guy would let her keep it, and she doesn't want to abort this. She told me she wanted to talk to her parents one time. They cut her off as it caused a huge debacle, and her nudes got viral around the area, so her family suffered a lot of humiliation and apologized for trauma she caused. I told her I hope she gets the happiness she deserves and told her she needed to get out of this relationship. That's all. In our whole call, I just listened. I didn't want to give her justification or validation. I was just nodding to her. This time she herself was the one to tell me that I am an amazing guy and deserve better than her before she voluntarily wanted to hang up. The reason was, she chose to commit suicide. I found this out day before yesterday. She shot herself. That other guy was a POS and had a gun. Illegal, of course. She just left a note saying it was her path that she chose and apologized to everyone she hurt. Police are still investigating. From what I heard, other guy has been taken in custody for possessing illegal firearm and is currently in top suspect list. I'm not in contact with her friends or family. I work at a different city, so I'm not in the town. From what I've heard, her friends are preparing to testify against the other guy. No one from her family or friends reached out to me. I don't know if her family knows, but I don't intend to tell them. I can't sleep right now because of it. There's guilt in my heart. I could have helped her. I could have done something more. I could have done something, but I chose to not get involved, which led her to kill herself. I still don't know what more happened, as I heard it from a friend of mine whose relative is a part of the investigating group. I didn't want to make this post, but I needed to get this off my chest. I've thrown up twice and still can't get a grip on myself. Story 2. Can you forgive an infidelity if everything else was great? Because the narrative is lengthy and intricate, I'll make every effort to keep it concise. The only thing I've done with 22M since we started dating in December 2020 is treat me like a princess whose feet shouldn't touch the earth. Myself, 22F, has been to the bare minimum exclusive with him since we started dating in December 2020. Together, we made more efforts to improve our communication, transparency, and trust, while also reducing our reactionary inclinations. We had a brief breakup in April 2021, lasting about a month, because he was envious of my man, closest friend, who lives an hour away and whom I did not see on a regular basis at the time. This BFF is someone with whom I had a physical relationship for 3 years prior to meeting my ex. He's always been by my side, regardless of the circumstances, and our connection was strictly platonic on both sides of the table. Well, this BFF was on the verge of passing away, and I saw it as a heavenly message that we should be together. This experiment was a failure, and the results were never discussed again. I did inform my 22-year-old ex that I had started chatting to him around 3 weeks later. When we resumed our conversation, he was also Snapchatting with other ladies in a ting-like fashion. While it was painful, I was able to put it aside since we were not together at the time. His excuse was that it was a contingency plan since he didn't believe we'd ever be in a meaningful relationship again. For the duration of our time together, everything was wonderful. We went on a slew of adventures and had occasional disagreements about communication and trust, mainly regarding my lack of faith in him. But he demonstrated all of these amazing qualities to me on a daily basis. He was patient, kind, and loving, and I was filled with guilt because I knew my BFF was a source of insecurity for him, and I was keeping a secret from him. I ended our relationship in September because I was devastated following the death of my grandpa. It was a mistake, but because of my overreaction, it took him a while to realize he needed to try again. He wanted us to try working on each other again, which I interpreted to mean that we were going to be exclusive again. In November, I informed him about the secret that had devastated him, and it took until the end of the month to get him back on track. This last month was incredible, and it seemed like we had finally turned a new page. I discovered out he had a dating page and had begun texting females again 3 days ago. I was furious. A buddy of his also informed me that he had been having Yule relations with females while we were together. After I informed him about my secret, he claims that something snapped in him over the weeks we didn't speak, and that finally something drove him stop and erase everyone on his contact list. Although he didn't expect us to return or that I would want to solve things, and he didn't believe you would be able to move on, despite the fact that he did. I believe in his affection, and for some reason, I cherish and respect him. I first gave him the benefit of the doubt because I was feeling guilty, but now that I'm not feeling guilty, I'm not sure what to do. I need time to recover and sort through my emotions, and there is time for that. The desire to forgive him and move on exists somewhere deep within me. Is it possible to forgive and try again for all of the wonderful times that have occurred?